What's up, everybody? Let's make reselling fun again on Sunday Fun Day. What we're going to be doing today is talking about golf clubs. Nothing but golf clubs. I'm going to show you how to clean them. I'm going to show you the parts of the club so you can know what to look for. And then I'm going to show you pricing or talk about the brands and talk about what golfers are looking for so that you too can find these clubs and make money. Okay, first let's talk about the club itself. Here we have the club head. This is the head of the club, the whole thing right here, this metal part. Here we have the club face. This is the shaft. And then this is the grip. That's it. There's other parts that I need to talk about, like the degree of loft, which is how the club face lays, so that you know if it goes up or further back or further out, like long distance or not. But that's too much information. I know that a lot of you are just looking to clubs just to make money, so that's fine. We're going to keep it to the basics. Head, face, shaft, grip. That's it. In this case, this is a sand wedge. Sand wedges are not common to all golfers, although they should be, but they're not, because sand wedges are very flat to where they're used to get out of the sand trap. They're really not necessary in any other context. You can't, or not that you can't use them, but you shouldn't be using them because they're so flat like this that anytime you hit it, it's going to go poof, way up and way down. There's better clubs for that. And speaking of better clubs, we have a pitching wedge. Pitching wedge is a club that is a little straighter to where it gives you an arch. That way you can get to the green, but is not as flat. What you want to look for, or what golfers look for, is a full set whenever possible. And this is a great example of a full set. We have a 1 wood, a 3 wood, a 5 wood, and then we have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, all irons. And then we have a pitching wedge, and then we have a sand wedge, and last but not least, the putter. First, let me discuss the woods. This is what we call a wood. It's got a big head right here. This is meant for distance. And when you're in a flat area, like for example, if you're on the fairway, but you still have 150, 200, 300 yards to go, then you want a wood because it is fairly flat. And when you hit it with this, it gives you a shitload of distance. So this is what a wood looks like. And in this case, this is the 3 wood. It'll be labeled right there. This is the most important part of the club because the golfer hits obviously with this and they want to make sure that this part is clean. And you'll see me when I'm cleaning them right now, but this part is clean. There's no dents. There's nothing to obstruct the hit. And then we have the shaft here and everything else. This right here is a 5 wood. I'm not going to explain it. It's the same thing. It's just a different degree of variation, or it gives you typically less distance. And then we have this. Look at this big ass thing. This is what we call a driver. A driver, what some people say is a 1 wood, which is, I guess you can call it that, but it's more commonly called a driver. It's a big head. This is the one that you're going to use at the very beginning when you're golfing. At the very, very beginning when you get off the tee box. This is going to give you the most distance. This is also the longest. The shaft is going to be the longest because you're kind of standing straight up so that you can get the most force when you're going to hit and it'll go further. This is very important, and this is always going to be the most expensive in any club, the driver. Drivers can sometimes go upwards of $500, $600 because they're depending on the technology, depending on what they're made of, depending on who signs them and stuff like that, like collectibles, they'll go for a lot of money. And last but not least, this is the putter. This is also something that is used every single time. And the reason that it's used every single time is because you might not need all these irons, but you will always need a putter. Unless you make a hole-in-one or unless you make it when you're not on the green. But as soon as you get on the green, you need this. The way that this works is that this is flat. And all it is that it has a line right there that you line up the ball with the flag, with the hole. And then you just, boop, you hit it like that and then it goes in. This is going to be, most of the time, this is going to be the shortest one. Because a lot of the times, you're going to be like this, bent over quite a bit. What you want is you don't want a lot of movement. You're kind of stiff and you just move along like that with the club itself to make the the ball in the hole. These can go stupid prices, and some of them will look very different from the bottom right here. They'll look kind of bowed out. They have some cool designs. This is one of the flatter ones. This is one of the more basic ones. And this is white line. It's not a great putter, but it's a decent putter. It does the job. So this is also what is in the bag of a golfer. You have to have a putter. The most sought after, though, clubs always are the 1 wood, which is better known as the driver. Sometimes another wood like a 3 wood or a 5 wood, but usually it's the 1 wood, and then the 9 iron, and then you keep going down the 7 iron, the 3 iron, and the putter. And sometimes in there you have a pitching wedge, but the 9 iron can swap out for the pitching wedge. When I was a lot younger, I used to play a lot of golf, and I didn't have a lot of money, so I needed just the basic set, which was the driver, the 1 wood, maybe another wood, which was the 3 that I had, the 3 wood, because sometimes I needed more distance. I had the 9 iron, the 7 iron, the pitching wedge, and the putter, and that's it. I didn't really have anything else in between, and the reason is because I didn't have enough money. This is an excellent set. Now, how would you actually sell this? I'm going to sell it like this. This is going to sell on its own because this will sell for about $60, just this alone. Then I'm going to sell these two together or separate. I'm not sure yet, but you can sell them together. But if not, these would sell separate. People use these or they look for these separately most of the time, 3 and 5 wood. Now the rest of them, these are all irons. What people are looking for when it comes to irons is that they're looking for the 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 together as a set. You can sell them separate for sure, but it's going to take you longer. Like the 4 iron. Most people don't look for a 4 iron or they don't look for a 5 iron. They want either the set or the ones that get used the most, which is the 3 iron, the 7, and the 9. All the other ones in between are cool to have if you're like really that accurate and that good, but most of the time you don't use them because you just won't use them. You hit far enough to where you can just use the next club or the next iron up. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to sell 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 together, and then the pitching wedge and sand wedge are going to be separate. Again, the pitching wedge can be swapped out for the 9. You can use either or. It'll basically do the same thing. If you're good enough, it'll do the same thing. But if people are looking for, like if a golfer is looking for something extra, then they'll find a pitching wedge by itself or a sand wedge by itself. So you want to separate these and sell these separate. And last but not least, the putter. The putter is always sold separate. Don't put it with the set, because a person that looks for a set always wants a separate putter, because putters are they just have so many variations that you don't want to add it on to the set that you're getting. And for the most part, putters are never included in sets when you go to the store and buy them. The same thing with the drivers. The drivers are usually included. They'll include a driver, but a lot of golfers, they prefer to buy irons and then they'll buy the wood separately, because there are different types of drivers, bigger drivers, softer drivers, and so on. Now let's get into something more specific that you have to know. When you're listing these, you have to know like this. Right here it says mid-low torque. I don't know if you can see it. If you can't see it, I'm just going to explain it. Mid-low torque, and then it says stiff. It says low kick, 75 grams. 75 grams is the weight. Stiff means that when this hits the ball, when you're swinging, this is not going to bend. Look, it has a little bit of bend, right? But it's not going to bend. There is stiff, mid, and high flex, or like very flexible ones. So it just depends on what it is that they're looking for. For example, the stiff isn't for everybody. The mid isn't for everybody. And the very flexible one isn't for everybody. So it just depends on who the golfer is, and they'll pick whatever they want. And you're just hoping that, you have what they want, right? I already cleaned this one earlier for comparison. But look, that is the sandwich. Nice and pretty. Then we look at the back. Nice and pretty. And then this is the pitching wedge. Nice and not pretty. So this still needs cleaning. So I'm going to show you how to clean now. What you want to do is you want to get a brush that is hard, the hard bristles. You're not going to damage the club. And for those of you that's saying, well, it's going to scratch it. Okay, this is going to scratch no matter what. So don't worry about it. What you want to keep, like this stuff, you can be kind of soft with it. I get it. This is where the brand is. And that you need to take care of more because people want it shiny. They want to make it look nice, fine. But this doesn't matter. This is scratch. Always, it's always going to be scratch. As soon as you hit it the first time, it's going to scratch. That is also going to scratch. So don't worry about it. Well, first, let me remove the price tag. I paid $10.20 some cents for each of these, which is high for me. But considering it was the X20 Callaway series, this one's going to bring in good money. Let me see. Roughly, the driver is going to sell for $60. The irons, I'm going to sell them for about $200. No. Yeah, about $200. The woods are going to sell for about $30 a piece. And this is all plus shipping. And then the putter is going to sell for about $25. So I think my $140 investment will turn into about $320 minus fees and everything. I think I'm going to double my money easily. Double my money. And it's not going to take long because I've sold these before. And I know it doesn't take long. Okay, let's get the cleaning. So you grab this. All I have is soap and water in the bucket. There's a bucket right there. Soap and water. And we just scrub the face. Just scrub the face as much as you can. And what you want to do is that there are markings on the face. There are these lines. These are grip lines. So what you want to do is that if there's mud in there, you want to get it all out. What a golfer wants is, first of all, they don't want to clean them when they get them. Anybody that's buying them from you. And they don't want to have anything on the golf club head to where it ruins their shot. If there's a rock stuck in there, there's mud, it can ruin the way that the shot is going. Now we're going to do the bottom. This is what hits the actual floor, or the ground, I mean. There we go. My cameraman just gave me a face because I said floor. No, it's ground. And that's okay, because she's always right. Now we want this. This you have, if you want to be careful, I suggest a softer brush. This is what I use to clean my mountain bike because it's really soft on the paint. So what you want to do is just brush it. Essentially here, the only thing that matters is it needs to look pretty and clean. That's it. Now we go to the shaft. Just rub it like this. In this case, this is in really good condition, so I don't really have to do much. And try to leave this alone. You're not really going to be able to clean it, and you're really not going to be able to do anything about it, so just leave the grip alone. If the grip is all nasty and it's coming apart, like as in it's staining your hands and stuff, that's okay. Just put it in your description. Don't worry about it. A good golfer or somebody that spends good money, they're going to want to re-grip them anyway, so it doesn't matter. And grips don't cost that much. There we go. So now that I cleaned it, I wipe it down with my cloth. Microfiber is great, but do you have to have microfiber? No. It's just for people that are picky that it's going to scratch right here. I'm going to look at the scratches. Don't worry about it. It doesn't matter. Golf clubs are meant to be thrown around and used and abused. That's why they're made so well. And that's why they cost so much damn money. There you go. Look at the face. Sorry, that's not the face. Look at the back part of the face. That's where it says X20 Callaway. That's the face. Look at it now. Woo, pretty. And then look at the bottom. Very nice. Shaft. Very nice. And grip, which I didn't do anything to it, but very nice, right? I am going to clean the rest of them, but I'm not going to do it on video because it takes too long. But I just wanted to say, I know that a lot of you skip golf clubs because you don't know golf clubs, because you're afraid to ship them. Okay. If you buy the right box, which I've said before in many videos, but I'm going to tell you now again. It's a 48 by 4 by 4 box. They're not cheap. They're going to cost you anywhere from $1.80 to $3.50. But if you buy those boxes, it takes you less than 1 minute to pack up a club and ship it out. All you have to do is cut down the box to size so that you don't have to pay for the length to ship it. But that's it. It's very simple. And if you look at it, or if you see me doing this, How long did it take me to clean this? Nothing, not that long. It took me, I don't know, a minute to just go outside, hang out with your dogs, make it a day, make it a Sunday fun day, grab a beer like me, and just do it outside. It's so much fun. You get to be out here. You get to experience nature, which most of you I know and you that are always inside. And those of you that are like, no, I'm always outside. Well, most of you are lying. Because I know most people are always inside, and I'm always a big proponent on go outside without your stupid digital products, without your iPad, without your phone, without anything. Just go and hang out with your family. For me, I'm hanging out with my dogs. My cameraman's over there somewhere because she didn't want to hold the phone the whole time, which is fine. That's why I'm doing a static shot. It's also, I'm not moving around, so why would I need a cameraman, right? Don't skip on golf clubs. They make good money and they sell very quickly. You just have to make sure that it's a good brand, because if you get shit brands, they're going to sit forever. And preferably a newer golf club. There are old ones that are collectibles that even I've sold for sure for good money. But if you're barely starting to sell golf clubs, don't look at old ones that are tiny, that are made of wood, that are super old, because you need to know a lot more about those. And most of the time you're going to pick up wrong ones and just lose money. So try to pick up new ones. Callaway, Ping, Nike. Try to stay away from brands like Top Flight. Top Flight is fine. And don't get me wrong, if you have Top Flights, then, relax. Don't be pissed off that I'm saying that Top Flight isn't good. But if you go and buy them, they cost you $199 or $249 or $349 for the entire set for a reason. And these don't cost you that much. They cost you way more than that. The Callaway golf clubs are made better. They're made of better materials. So just do what you can. Don't skip on golf clubs because you can make a lot more money. That's it, everybody. To continue to support the channel, you can always buy a shirt, a hat, or a logo sticker from the store below. You can also become a member of the Resolutions Posse, which helps me run the channel, and it also helps you because there's a ton of benefits like members-only shoutouts, advanced video viewing, and members-only live streams depending on your level. And if you notice right here, there's a whole bunch of people that are already subscribed because I'm trying to do my best to put out members-only content. That way they can benefit from everything that I'm putting out so that you can make more money. As always, give this video a like, share this with anybody that needs to see it, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already so you don't miss awesome videos like this. See you in the next one. Peace and cheers. And if you heard the whole video, well, my dog's right there. I can't tell him to move. I mean, come on, man. He's a dog. Kelvin. What's up, Kelvin? What's up, Papa? That's my good boy. That's my big baby boy. Come here. Kel, come. That's a good boy. He is a big dog. Look at his head. It's bigger than mine. My big dog, my big fat dog. Kelvin. Look at this dog. My goodness. I almost lost him twice. From when he was born, from when I rescued him to now. And he's made it through every time. Except he's super fat because he's got a thyroid issue. But I'm controlling it with pills. He's also got a skin issue like me. I have psoriasis. He's got something else. Hey. But still, I love him. Oh, you want it? You want it? You want it? Well, that was Cal's log, but now it's Lana's. And she's a bitch. She's taking it around the corner just to leave it over there, and then she's going to come back and probably try to steal the other one, because there's another one around here. Dogs.